This episode of Another Great Day is brought to you by Parallel Parking. You can. You can't. You shouldn't. Oh, no. You didn't. It's Friday, February 9th, 2024. I'm Chris, and this is Cole Pettijohn. You don't know Cole? Welcome, Cole.
Nice to be here, Chris. I'm excited for another great day.
Oh, he said it. He said the podcast name on the podcast. We are self-referential and meta. Here at Another Great Day, we try to encourage interaction, creativity, and conversation. Cole.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting seeing how Mark Zuckerberg reacts to that meta reference we just dropped.
Oh, meta. There it is again. Cole, would you hold this glass of water?
Yeah, sure, Chris.
Cool. Now, I'm going to put this eyedropper and put a little piece of ink in the water. Check that out.
Oh, wow. It's like spreading, kind of diluting through the water. That looks really cool.
Now, can you please separate that ink from the water?
I'm not sure that's possible, Chris.
Do you know why?
Different particle molecules.
Yeah, I mean,
do we have to boil it? I don't know.
It mixes in together. It dilutes. It gets all mixed in together. Well, we're going to come back to that later in the episode. But right now, we're going to go straight to the boss level.
This is AI Voice Tom with a quick update. Our boss level segment decided to go on an unexpected adventure. It's currently participating in an underwater knitting contest with a team of octopuses. Yep, they're knitting the world's longest scarf. So we need a bit of time to dry things out and untangle the yarn. Expect the segment to return next week, hopefully without bringing any aquatic friends along. Thanks for your patience and stay tuned for more fun. Looking at you, Trent.
And that'll bring us to this day in history. This day in 1964, America meets the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show. Have you ever heard of the Beatles?
Yes.
Have you ever heard of Ed Sullivan?
Yes, very familiar with the Beatles and somewhat familiar with Ed Sullivan. I haven't watched any of his episodes all the way through, but I know who he is.
If you were describing Ed Sullivan or the Beatles to a current day 6-year-old, what would you say?
Beatles, I'd say musicians with bowl cuts, British.
I thought bowl cuts also. Imagine you put a bowl on your head and you cut a circle, kind of like that.
Yeah, and they sing about, I'd just show them one of the songs by the Beatles that mentions the walrus.
Yes.
I feel like they mention it, I'm the walrus, and Come Together. Don't they mention a walrus at some point?
They may also do that.
Yeah, I feel like kids would like that. Ed Sullivan.
Was it a variety nighttime show?
Yeah, talk show host.
Talk show.
Yeah. Did he have slick back hair? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. That'd probably be my other descriptor. I don't know too much else.
That's all right. Do you know any Beatles songs, and do you have a favorite Beatles song?
Yes, I know a bunch of Beatles songs.
Oh, really?
Well, when I say a bunch, it's probably like 10. But
yeah.
My favorite's definitely Don't Let Me Down, though.
Can you sing it now for us?
No,
I'm joking.
Yeah,
you don't have to sing it. All right, and that'll do it for this day in history. Now for today's question of the day. Cole, this is for both of us and the people listening on the podcast. So take a moment, pause the podcast, talk amongst yourselves wherever you're at. Here's the question. What things are better when they're mixed together, and what are some things that are better when they are completely separate?
The answer to both those questions is food.
I was thinking about food also.
Because
there are certain foods that you think that are good mixed together.
Yeah, there are definitely some that you want touching, some you don't. Like, I'll put M&Ms in a popcorn bucket, right? But,
oh, okay.
Yeah, but then...
Wait, do they melt?
No, because the hard candy shell, like, you know, the scene in Tommy Boy where he accidentally spills the M&Ms into the front of David Spade's car. Chris Farley spills the M&Ms.
I don't remember that, but...
Oh, yeah, and then he's like, it's going to melt in the engine. And then Chris Farley's like, no, they don't. You know, like thick candy shell. And he's like, your brain has a thick candy shell. You know?
Oh, dear. I see.
Yeah.
If you were to make the most epic bucket of popcorn, what would you include?
I'm not a huge buttery popcorn guy. I don't like it, especially when it's to the point where it's soggy. So probably straight up popcorn without much butter, or any butter, and then just get lightly salted. Get some M&Ms in there. Maybe what are those little things? Crunch a Bunch or Bunch of Crunch at AMC. You get those in there too. Just a little bit of sweet and savory in there. You don't want to overdo it because then it starts to get melty, and we don't want soggy popcorn once again.
Ah, yes. Don't want soggy popcorn. Well, thank you for that conversation. I was trying to think about things. My immediate thought was ice cream. And I remember as a kid, we did like dip French fries in ice cream sometimes. I don't know why. Maybe the salty was really yummy.
I know people that do that with milkshakes, so not too dissimilar.
That's what I was thinking.
I mean, not
Dairy
too
Queen.
dissimilar. Yeah, I personally haven't done that, but I understand the appeal.
And then I thought about my granddad has always. They have a routine. Friday night, my grandparents go out to eat. They go out to a restaurant. They usually go just to town and have Dairy Queen or something. Saturday night, they have beans. Every Saturday night, beans and cornbread. This is just the thing they have. But Shannon and I, my wife, we visited my grandparents on a Saturday night one time, and they said, "Come have dinner. We're going to have beans and cornbread." And we did. And my grandmother fixed a small little side salad, and my granddad demanded, "I've got to have tomatoes. We're going to have tomatoes on the salad, and they're sliced up fresh tomatoes from the garden." And so he got his little salad of tomatoes, he got his beans, and he got his cornbread. He then proceeded to mix them all together. All of it. And his idea was apparently it's going to be mixed in your stomach. It tastes better all mixed together. This is how food should be done. You should mix it together. And I was always like, I don't know if that's true or not, but thank you for the memory, Granddad. That's about
yeah, I mean, there are a lot of things that I wouldn't mix with orange juice.
Orange juice.
That's just my first go-to don't mix because of how I feel after brushing my teeth and that orange juice, that feeling.
That is not a good feeling. You're right.
No.
Well, that'll do it for today's discussion, and we're going to go on to the dad joke of the day. Take it away, Wes McFall.
Hey there, guys. So, every morning, I tell my family I'm going on a run, but then I don't go. It's my running joke. Have another great day.
Thank you for that joke, Wes. We're going to now go on to today's word of wisdom. This is where we have some wisdom from the book of Proverbs in the Bible. Today is chapter 27, verse 22. The NLT version says, "You cannot separate fools from their foolishness, even though you grind them like grain with mortar and pestle." The Amplified Version of the Bible says, "Even though you pound a hardened, arrogant fool who rejects wisdom in a mortar with a pestle like grain, yet his foolishness does not leave him." That is interesting. So if you want in your cars or wherever you're listening to this podcast, maybe you can talk about some of your behaviors and maybe that you might want to change them. I don't know. Discuss amongst yourselves. And that'll do it for today's episode. Let's hit that music and get out of here. Our mission here on Another Great Day is to encourage interaction, creativity, and conversation. We thank you for tuning in. We thank Cole for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Chris. I appreciate it.
This crazy impromptu session. We were testing out some new technologies today. We're at a friend's studio, and we're doing the video. And Cole happened to be here, so that's why we have him with us. Thank you for lending your voice. And we hope that you make it another
great day.
Great day. That's fantastic. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow.